If you're a gear nut like I am, stay tuned. Welcome to Mike's Drum Cubby. Welcome, Cubbers, to another episode of Mike's Drum Cubby. And this is where we go through gear that I have in my vast collection, but only the gear usually I use the most. But I'm going to have some new pieces too. And also going to review new equipment that I don't have in my collection. So if you dig the channel, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, send me a comment. But in the meantime, let's slide it on down to the drum at hand. The TAMA Brass. Well, I got this drum when I was in Endorsee with TAMA, and as you can see, it has patina on it, so it was an early run of their brass drums before they started clear coating them. With this one, like a couple of other brass drums from them, the company wanted me to give it back so they could give me one that was clear coated, so it would look prettier. But I gracefully declined and told them I liked the drum too much to give it back, so I won out on that deal. Also, you can notice there's a black kind of plastic thing on there, and that's basically was a pickup for when we were triggering lots of samples with the drum. This one is 6.5 by 14, and it's a keeper. Very warm sounding, and of course I've changed the heads multiple times along with the snare wires. It has brighter snare wires on it now than it originally did. The drum sounds good with low, mid, and high tunings. And actually, I'd never found another one like this. Lucky for me, I have this one. Here's the throw off, the butt end, and the lug and logo. Six and a half by 14 TAMA Brass. It's the one that's not pretty, but it's got the patina. This was an early one. So this is about where this likes to live. Is this good? It could go lower, but it likes it right here, or maybe a little higher. Anyway, here we go. Rim shot. Okay, we got a higher tuning. It doesn't really like this tuning. It likes kind of lower, even though you'll hear it. I've loosened up the snares just a little bit because it sounded a little choked to me. Like I said, where I had it is kind of like where it likes to live, or even a little lower. But anyway, so now you got, so here we go. Hey, you're back. Before we get to the story, anybody want to guess on how much the drum weighs? 11 pounds, 7 ounces. Well, the reason this drum reminded me of this story is when I went on tour with Rick Springfield, I had 2 Ludwig bronze snare drums. And this kind of reminds me of those, except it's a little warmer than those. So as I said, I'm on tour with Rick Springfield. The beginning song of this tour was on tape. And this was the early days of tape, before they generated click tracks and everybody could, with their in-ears and all that stuff, everybody had speakers, you know. Well, anyway, they generated a click track, Rick in the studio, so I could count the bars to be able to count the guitar in, which was the intro. He did a click track with using a plastic ashtray from the studio, hitting it with a ruler. That's what he told me. And it would speed up and slow down, but it was enough to get us in. And then once we were in, the tape stopped and we're all playing together. Well, the count off that I had to give was
the lead-in for the guitar player, who was Tim Pierce, who at the time was just touring with Rick. He wasn't doing session work like he's one of the guys now. I mean, it's awesome. And he was awesome back then. But I had also this little handheld flashlight that was a trigger deal where I could shoot a beam across the stage. And the reason why I had to have a beam as well as counting with the hi-hat is they would fill the stage full of smoke with smoke machines. And then they had this halon thing in the front, and they would have this mist come down with a projection of a shadow of Rick. And at a certain point in time, Rick would jump through this like he magically appeared, and then the mist would stop. Anyway, we'd be all in then, and it's all great. Well, and part of this tour was going to Japan. So we get to Japan, and in typical fashion of Japanese that are meticulous about everything, they're working the smoke machines. Well, they're working them. I mean, they're working them hard. Well, the smoke is so thick, I can't see in front of my drums. I can't see anybody beside me with the rest of the band. So luckily for me, I've got this flashlight to count Tim in, because it's like a laser beam, like going through the smoke. Anyway, he starts the thing, but now he started the song. And next thing I know, Rick is doubled over. My Tom's laughing hysterically. He can't find where he's supposed to stand in the stage to come through the halon mist. He can't even see the end of the stage. So somebody runs to the back, tells him, stop the smoke, stop the smoke. And it finally cleared enough to where he could actually get through find the place, get through the mist, and it was all great. And the funny thing is, afterwards, I find out that a lot of people in the audience thought the place was on fire. There was so much smoke. Anyway, it just reminded me of that story. Also, to add to that story, when we were in the dressing room, you know, like most dressing rooms, they have a countertop that goes on, and there was this beautiful doll, like a life-size doll, like a little 4-year-old girl doll, like life-size. Absolutely perfect. I mean, hair perfect, rouge on the cheeks, dress was immaculate, shoes. I mean, it was just awesome. And I thought to myself, I've got to get one of these for my stepdaughter. And I'm staring at this doll, eyes closed, just looks amazing. Brett Tuggle, the keyboard player, comes up to me and says, what are you looking at? I go, oh man, look at this doll. It's like immaculate. It's just insane how perfect it is. He goes, Mike, that's this lady's daughter. Oh, everybody got a big chuckle out of that one. Anyway, well, we've come to the end of another Cubby. And what do we always say?
And that's it.
And if you love the channel, hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment. And we'll see you in a minute.